The Boyz Hut.
Welcome to the third episode of the Boyz Hut podcast. This is part 2 of a brief overview of what Chaos is, the Chaos Primarks, and Space Marine Legions. Because of the length of this episode, it has been split into 2. You are currently watching part 2 of 2, and with that out of the way, let's begin. Today I'm joined by Aiden and Michael.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Anyways, as we left off around the halfway point of the Chaos Primarks. Today, our first Primark we'll talk about was Magnus the Red. He almost died to Leman Russ, the Primark of the Space Rolls. He's now a Demon Prince of Tzeentch. Basically, the thing about Magnus that's very interesting compared to the other Primarks is that he only turned to Chaos because, this gives something on the Horus Heresy. The Horus Heresy is the Emperor tried to do this gigantic human webway project. It took him literally 2 centuries to even get done. He was almost finished. Then Magnus actually heard about Horus himself, the Primark, trying to betray. Yeah, basically, he heard about Horus, who we talked about after Magnus, about him betraying the Emperor. So he tried to basically before this, a couple hundred years ago, the Emperor disallowed psychic because if the Emperor had any psychic power near his webway, it would all break while he's building it. So essentially, Magnus tried to send a psychic communication over to the Emperor to warn him about Horus's heresy, I guess you could say. And it broke the entire webway project that took centuries to make, that was being made. And the Emperor got really angry, punished him really bad. So then Magnus decided to join Chaos.
Without the light of Chaos, the universe would stagnate and collapse. Only through this struggle can any advancement occur. From the Book of Magnus.
Alright, now we're on to Horus. Horus is the Primarch of the Sons of Horus. And he mortally wounded the Emperor. However, after mortally wounding the Emperor, he was also killed by the Emperor. Horus is essentially the person who started this whole heresy. He's the one that recruited all of his brothers to join him to rebel against the Emperor. He's the one that all the current day events of the 40k universe. He's the one that caused those to happen.
The galaxy burned. Quote from Horus.
Okay, on to our next Primarch is Lorgar, the Primarch of the Wordbearers. He's the current Dane Prince. The thing about Lorgar and the Wordbearers is that basically he's all about learning the truth, and their entire legion writes writes scriptures all over their skin. So their skin is just coated with ink and words.
All I ever wanted to know was the truth. Remember those words as you read the ones that follow. I never set out to topple my father's kingdom of lies from a sense of misplaced pride. I never wanted to bleed the species to its marrow, reaving half the galaxy clean of human life in this bitter crusade. I never desired any of this, though I know the reasons for which it must be done, but all I ever wanted was the truth. Opening lines of the Book of Lorgar, First Canticle of Chaos.
Alright, this on our last Primarch, he's Alferes and Megon. They're the Primarchs of the Alpha Legion, but the Alferes and Megon are actually twin brothers. There's 2 of them. Megon may or may not be traitors. One of them may or may not die during the Horus Heresy. Basically, the Alpha Legion are very, very secretive. The way that basically it works is that Alferes and Megon, they would dress up as their Alpha Legion members, and because they're unlike the other Space Marines, they looked unlike the other Primarchs. They were around the height of a normal Space Marine, so they dress up in Space Marine armor. Run around in their own chapter in Dragon Battlefield. So the thing about them was that if you went to battle against the Alpha Legion, you never knew when their Primarch was going to show up. You never knew what weapon he was going to wield, and you never knew what the system was. Although occasionally, when they did decide, Alferes or Megon would basically don their Hydra armor and charge the battle. It was a very but that very rarely happened. So it was very highly morale lifting. And again, since they're twins, one of them may have been killed during the Horus Heresy. People don't know. And Omegon, like all the stuff about heretical stuff is from Alpharius. Omegon may or may not be a heretic. We don't know.
Before we go, let me say this. I understand the conflict in your hearts, how one may be beat for duty while the other bleeds for your legion brothers, who will be sacrificed. But this is a civil war. It is a time of confusion and realigned loyalty. We have many heads, but we act as one. One legion with a single will. We are union of the alike and the alike-minded. We will not tolerate triarchy. We will not allow our compact to fracture. We will not suffer the sightedness of our brother legions, nor the averted gaze of the wider Imperium. We are Alpha Legion, and we take the long view. Omega, twin Primark of the Alpha Legion.
I want to add something. Basically, like, although they are betrayers, they didn't really turn to chaos. If I remember correctly from reading this, they didn't really turn to chaos. They're out doing their own thing. None of them have been like corrupted by chaos. They're just space marines still. So yes. Anyways, basically, now we're going on this Chaos Space Marine Legions. We're going in order of the Primarchs I listed. So if you want to go back, you can see that. Our first legion are the Emperor's Children. They're Fulgrim's things, and since Fulgrim's the Primarch of the Slaaneshian breed, they're very horny all the time, and they are also purple. That's pretty much it.
Perfect ecstasy, boundless cacophony, excessive agony. I must have more. Anonymous Emperor Children's Chaos Space Marine.
Our next person is an Iron Warrior. They serve under Petrobo, and they are basically like masters of siege weapons, and they like to do stuff with metal. They're, like I said, they're the opposite of the Imperial Fists.
From iron cometh strength. From strength cometh will. From will cometh faith. From faith cometh honor. From honor cometh iron. Unbreakable lieutenant of the Iron Warriors Traitor Legion.
Our next people are the Raven Guard. As I mentioned previously, they're led by Conrad Cruz. They are essentially vampires. They're Raven Guard, but vampire, and they're so much more edgy than Raven Guard. Raven Guard are more like edgy Batman. Well, these guys are just edgy to be edgy. I guess essentially that's essentially what they are. They're just edgier Raven Guard.
From the darkness we strike, fast and lethal, and by the time our foes can react, darkness there and nothing more. Raven Guard saying.
The World Eaters are next ones. The World Eaters, they are more Khorne dudes. The only way I can really say this is that they're just berserkers. That's essentially it. They're Khorne. They're berserkers.
Make war upon the Imperium of Man? What is it you think legions have been doing for the past 10,000 years? War does not end with a single victory or a single planet. As an eternal creature that outlives men in their tiny triumphs. Arzen, the Silence Bringer, warrior of the World Eaters.
All right, basically, our next thing are the Death Guard, my personal favorite. If you look up any of their mod art or models for the actual tabletop game, out of all the Chaos Space, okay, I should mention this. Out of all the models Games Workshop provides, the only special ones that they only have special models for Death Guard and Thousand Sons, the one we talked about afterwards. Basically, the problem of that is that they only show those models. So the rest of these people, like Raven Guard, Sons of Horus, Word Bearers, you just gotta get the basic Chaos Space Marines and just paint them like that. But Death Guard and Thousand Sons get their own stuff because they look the most unique. And Death Guard, basically, their whole thing is that they're disgustingly resilient. They're super tanky. And they're gross.
In the embrace of the great Nurgle, I am no longer afraid, for with his pestilential favor I have become which once I feared, death. Colvian Hesterius of the Death Guard.
Our next people are the Thousand Sons. They serve under Magnus the Red. They are blue, Egyptian-themed source psychers. They're all psychers. Not one of them are not. Basically, they have Magnus's gene seed. Oh, like I said, all the Space Marine legions have the gene seed of their Primarch, and since Magnus is almost such a powerful psyker that he almost even rivals the Emperor, that essentially like all of his sons are incredibly strong psykers.
The minds of gods are not mortals to know or to judge, except that Tzeentch has a place for all of us in his grand scheme, and be happy in the part you have to play. Proclamation of Magnus the Red.
Basically, the Sons of Horus. The Sons of Horus are like their chaos name. Before then they were called the Luna Wolves. The Sons of Horus are basically, they're under Horus. There's not really much to say about them. They wear black armor. Yeah, they just, if you look up Chaos Space Marine on the Games Workshop website, that's essentially what they look like.
I thought the Luna Wolves were supposed to become the most aggressive of us all. That's how you like the other legions to think of you, isn't it? The most feared of mankind's warrior classes. Our reputation speaks for itself, sir. First Captain Sigismund of the Imperial Fist Legion and Captain Garviel Loken of the Luna Wolves.
Yeah, basically, our next group of Space Marines are the Word Bearers. They are led by Lorgar. Their whole theme is that they have lots of words on them, and they write words on their skin. That's it.
Speak the words of Lorgar, and you shall live forever in the glory of chaos. Speak them not, and every one of you shall die today. Ultimatum made at the gates of the capital city of Moab 4 before a Word Bearer's assault.
Our final one are the Alpha Legion. Like I said, basically, the Alpha Legion are shrouded in secrecy. No one knows what they're doing. Again, as I said, they haven't necessarily turned to chaos. Basically, what they're doing currently in 40k is completely unknown. Also, like I said, basically, one of the twins could have died, but Alfarius and Omegon, you just never know where they are. They do have their own special armor, but any one of the Space Marines you're fighting Alpha Legion could be Omegon or Alfarius. You just don't know.
The Imperium is riddled with corruption and hatred. We have made sure of it. Anonymous Alpha Legion Chaos Space Marine.
Before we end, I want to make one last little disclaimer. I want everyone watching this to know that this is a very dumbed down, stupid kind of for fun description of this. Don't take anything we say seriously. I or anything else we talk about, we may have completely wrong, and that's our fault. I'm doing most of this off the top of my own knowledge, off the top of my head. So, if I have something wrong, just make sure to correct us in the comments.
Welcome to the Warhammer 40k for Dummies.
Thank you for watching the Boyz Hut Podcast Part 2. This concludes our brief overview of what the Chaos is, the Chaos Primarchs and Space Marine Legions. Next, in our next little Warhammer series, we're going to be talking about Xenos Factions. Have an orky day.
The Boyz Hut.